This is Leon Dale. Hello there, and today I'd like to say just a little bit more about my relationship to CARA Therapeutics. Well, one day some guy came up to me and said, "Yo, Leon, you know, you know what we need to do? We need to invest in marijuana stocks right now." I said, "Yeah, that does seem like a logical move. Damn near a no-brainer." So I did a little bit of research. I came across the application Robinhood, and it was something I needed to do, and so I wanted it to be mobile so I could do it at work. I could do it any break that I have at a bus stop or whatever. So I got on Robinhood. I bought one stock of Marina Therapeutics, I think, Insys Therapeutics, CARA Therapeutics, all around the $10 range, and I got one share of each because I'm not rich and I just didn't have a lot of money, and he said this was a good idea. I agreed, and that's what I got. Now, Insys Therapeutics, I watched some videos on stock trading and learned very quickly that you should do your research on these things and don't just buy them and hope. It's supposed to be gambling. And I did my research on Insys Therapeutics and found that their upper leadership were being sued for bribing doctors to overprescribe opioid drugs, and that's just a drug dealer move. A lot of people like to associate drug dealing with skin tone. This is ridiculous. This was drug dealing. You broke your leg, now you're a potential customer for life, perhaps. If you go to a doctor and you broke your leg and he gave you morphine and you said, "Give me more because it really still hurts," and then 2 months later you're saying, "Give me more because it hurts," this mofo is giving you this drug still and not saying, "Hey, it's been 2 months, do you really have the pain, or are you addicted to the painkiller?" No, they just keep selling it to you and keep collecting the money like a goddamn drug dealer. Now, I sure did veer off into a tangent there, but there's an extremely good reason why I did that. I was appalled at this because black folk also sell drugs in their own way, in their own different manner, to their own, demographic that they sell to, and they're treated very harshly and go to jail for a long time, and some might argue that they even should. But so should these bastards, because it's more insidious. You break your leg and they prescribe you your first free one. Yet you pay for that first free one and afterwards have to get really shady to continue your dose or find an alternative drug, which actually is more of an entryway into severe addiction than picking up a fucking joint and smoking it. So I had a problem with Insys and decided if people are suing them for being rich white drug dealers, fuck them. Fuck them. I'm not gonna give my money to those people when they put Tyrone in fucking jail and now I can't get no good dro cause of they ass. Fuck them. I was trying not to swear, but fuck it. I'm not PC-13. We're here to talk about CARA Therapeutics and not to live up to your social morals and shit. Don't you judge me! So anyway, there was also Marina Therapeutics, and as these were my first stocks, I made a terrible mistake. As Marina Therapeutics went down, I said these legendary words: "I can't stand to see my money go down. I'm taking it out before any more is lost." And so I pulled out of Marina because it kept going down and I couldn't stand the feeling, and based on emotion, I pulled it out. Not a smart move, which isn't to say Marina's any good. I've never looked at the company ever again because I also made the mistake of choosing stocks that I didn't do previous research on. I looked at what are some weed stocks and they popped up into my purview, and that's why I bought into them. I had done no real research, and so Marina, I pulled out of Marina. CARA must have been like 20 cents up on that point, from one share. It was around $10 at this time. But that's when the story really begins. You see, CARA Therapeutics creates a cannabis-based drug that, it acts different from other drugs. I don't want to go into the science of it because I'm only regurgitating information that I've been given that I truly don't understand completely. But it acts different. It doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier, so it doesn't give you cross-sensory perception or any sense of euphoria, which are two levels or two things that create an addiction. It doesn't get you high, but it does kill the pain, and it does involve the word opioid, but it's not the cocaine stuff, it's not the poppy seed stuff. It's actually based off of marijuana. I can't say any more scientific than that. But it's a painkiller for post surgery patients, for people who have a specific kind of kidney disorder that causes a severe internal itching that's known as pruritus, which is an extreme niche in the medical market, but important for those that suffer for it. There's a great need for relief, and this is potentially for that. There's an oral dose of this drug called let's see if I can find it here. CR845 is the name of the drug, and there's an oral version and there's an IV version, and they've been testing these out for different purposes. CARA Therapeutics, and this is very important now, CARA Therapeutics right now is in some respects towards the end of their FDA approval process, the phase 3, and it's always a legendary unicorn, a rumor that it's going to happen here, it's going to happen there. It was supposed to be December, then we all assumed January, and frankly we don't know when the next trial is going to happen. And this is the point that I'm trying to make, is that now that you know all this, that CARA's got a drug that helps pain and pruritus, that could actually put a good dent into the opioid crisis that we're currently experiencing. Until that FDA trial is completed, I think there's 3 phases. This is what they say, 3 phases, and we're at the 3rd one now. Until that happens, most of the movements in CARA Therapeutics are based on sentiment. So when I bought that first stock at $10, it went up to $13, and I bought a few more, and I bought a few more. At that point, I was buying high, not buying low, selling high. I was buying high. This is going up. It's going to keep going up, so I want more. This is a good stock. It's always going up. I want more. So I kept buying as it was getting higher. And it was at the point where we were all dancing between about $15, $16, with hopes of one day reaching $17. One day, Jim Cramer mentioned CARA Therapeutics on a television show, and all these people who had never been with CARA, didn't know what she was about, didn't know what they were doing, bought this stock, and the price went to $29. Mind you, this is a clinical stage biotechnology company that their earnings is almost always in a negative. They don't have a product because they're clinical stage. They're creating a product and it hasn't passed FDA approval. They haven't proved this drug even works. And so this spike is only because CARA was mentioned on television. The stock goes up. Crazy amount. Was it 51%? Something ridiculous. It went all the way to almost $30. And I was very new then, and I looked at my profits and I just smiled about it. It's about, at that point, was it $230, $300? It was some ridiculous amount. And then the very next day, it dropped. Like, wow. It dropped far below the opening price. And that's because all the people that had been holding, waiting for the FDA trials to finish in order for the price of the stock to go up, the value of the company to increase, saw a artificial inflation of the company's value based on widespread mention by trending. It trended, it popped up. Those people would sell first because they know that this is damn near free money. The company's not worth that yet because nothing has happened. There's no difference from yesterday. It just got popular. And the people that jumped in at $20, at $27, I remember hearing 27 a lot. People saying this is going to go further, and they're like on 27. And it goes up to about $29.98 or whatever that was, and it pops right back down as the people that were holding for a long time collect their profit. The people that just jumped in because they heard it on TV, and now the next morning they wake up, that shit is down a lot. They start taking their money out based on fear. They didn't do their research, they just watched television and then bought that stock based on impulse. I'm guilty of it too, so I'm not dissing those people. They did lose their fucking money at that point, and they should have done their research, as we all should. And so the stock went down to $12, and that was rough. I lost all my profit because I didn't think to sell at that point. I said, like everyone else, I said, it's going to keep going up. It's just, there's never ending joy, yay! No such thing exists. A 20% increase, 50% increase is ridiculous unless you have news and this has been anticipated and you know why this is happening. This is probably due to sentiment, not mathematics, not financials, not the actuality of the company's direction, but the sentiment of the people towards that company. And so recently, CARA Therapeutics went up by it closed today at 18.26% up in one single day. Almost, I sold at 20%. Bitcoin owners were laughing at me, but 20% is a very reasonable profit margin, and I saw it go up 20 and I just said fuck it, I'm selling. I don't care if it goes up to 50. 20 is asking a lot in the first place. Just take your damn profit. And I did sell about 10 shares. I'm leaving more in because I know that if the company can hit $29 off of Jim Cramer, and if it can hit, as it did today, around about 20% increase in one day off of rumors that it might be sold. As per my research, the spike today, January 24th, 2018, was due to news that CARA Therapeutics might be bought out. I'm not sure what that means for the drug, and the purchasing company should also think of that, but that's not my problem. Seems it made people excited, and the stock went up 20%. I sold at the top and made a fuckload of profit. And when it comes back down, if it comes back down, since again this is all sentiment and not based on numbers or success of their very first product. This company has no products, so when that shit goes up, that's sentiment, not numbers, not mathematics, not business financials. That's why Tesla makes no fucking profit and costs so much. That's just all to do with sentiment, how people feel about Elon Musk and his ventures. And as you notice, Tesla's the only one that he's made public. If he made SpaceX public, I don't know what you would call that man, but he would own the world. I would give him all my money and live under a fucking bridge so that Elon Musk could make SpaceX our fucking ticket into the universe. Gosh, I sure have rambled. But CARA Therapeutics, there she is in all her glory, rising again on sentiment that it might be sold out to a great profit. Now, when you see a stock going up and you want to sell, the two questions happen, of course. Is it going to keep going up or is it going to go down? One of the solutions is to create a trailing stop loss. And what this means is that if you have a $10 stock and it goes up to $15, you can do a stop loss that says if it goes down to $14, sell it, because it's above my entry price, and I don't want to sell now. But if it keeps going up, you'll have to come back and say, yo, this thing went to $20. Well, look, now my stop loss is $18. If it goes back down to $18, just sell it. And then it goes up, then it comes down, and it touches that 18, and boom, your stock sells, and you've secured that level of increase that you set your stop loss at. The stop loss means it can go up, but when it comes back down, if it hits a certain number, it'll immediately sell. Now, although this is a very good idea, the mild inaccuracy needed for an organic system is that if you execute the sell at $18 because you set your stop loss at 18, but the trading is happening so heavy and so fast that when you sell for a lower price or a higher price, then that's it. That's what you sell at. It's sold at the price that it actually is, not when you click the button and say and do it. Now, this doesn't matter most of the times as things are moving up and down by 1 cent in the moment. But there are days when there's massive, heavy volume, and if stock is dropping and you say sell at $11, you might find that you sold at 10 or 9.50 or at a low amount because it's not a transaction that happens immediately, and it will take into consideration what the price at that exact moment of the transaction is, not when you push the button and say I feel like it. So beware of extreme hikes and extreme lows, because you might try to sell here, and as it drops, they're like, man, you had to sell here, ain't nothing above here available. So anyway, CARA Therapeutics, the truth is, it was a great buy at $12. It was a great buy at 10. Back in the days, it was a good buy anything below 17. But right now, if it is bought out, or if one of the drugs come through and work, well, this is going to be a $20 to $30 stock. That's based on the gossip I've been listening to and stuff that I've looked at. All theory. I've got nothing to back that up. This drug could still fail, and this could still be a $3 company. But we need to go through that FDA testing and really have trust in the FDA to put it through the appropriate hurdles and have it come out the other side a successful drug to infiltrate the hospitals globally. And guys, look, if that drug is approved, like I say, $20 to $30 per share is conservative by my estimations and by the gossip and shit I've been listening to over a grand, glorious, and never incorrect internet. Anyway, it seems like I've been talking for almost 20 minutes, and it's just about CARA Therapeutics. I'm not even sure if this is part 2 to the one I did earlier, as it doesn't give you much information. It just talks about the excitement of this day's rally, upwards of 20% at one moment in time, closing at 18.26% here today, January 24th, 2018. And I'm talking like this because I wanted to round out to a good 20 minutes. I got 30 seconds. I don't know what to say. Peace, y'all. Gang signs!